Explore, Engage, Elevate. The Jamaica Stock Exchange is showcasing its online program here at its eCampus Open House and Corporate Mingle. Hi, I'm Javon Keys, and Business Access TV is here to bring you all the happenings. Stay tuned. The first segment of our program is the Open House, where the Jamaica Stock Exchange will be introducing its postgraduate certification programs offered through its eCampus. Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest will bring greetings.
I want to thank you for coming this evening to the JC eCampus's Open House. And, you know, when I was thinking about what I would say to you this evening, I said, you know, the fact that you come and, you know, it's immediately after August, which is the break, and I know you have a lot to do at the office, and also with the back to school. I am very pleased to see you all. You know, you have given us this evening pleasure in coming here. The intention this evening is to introduce to you the JC's exciting eCampus and the programs that we currently offer. And I'm smiling because I remember in 2012, at our launch, we said, and the program that we currently offer. And I am just excited about the fact that now we can say the programs, right, Dr. Lawrence, that we currently offer. And we feel that it is appropriate to share with you not only the number of programs we offer, but the level of certification that bolster our offerings. Because it is one thing to offer programs upon programs, but how does it enhance what you do? What can you do after you say, I've completed that program? There must be something to bolster it. And these include the accreditation by the University Council of Jamaica of our flagship program, the Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Services Management, our continuing professional development certification, which provides the stamp of approval from the CPD certification services in London that all our programs conform to continuing professional development principles, and also the approval from the Financial Services Commission of our online securities courses. The eCampus objectives are designed to match the objectives of the participants to our courses, which are to increase in the knowledge base of persons within the financial industry and the general marketplace. So we want to ensure that you know that while we operate within the financial industry, financial matters affect all companies. Am I correct, Dr. Lawrence? All companies. So it is a broad scope we are talking about. The ability also to practically utilize the training at the workplace and in the participants' daily life, and see to convert the training into a tangible currency. That is upward mobility in the organization. As the best performing exchange in the world, and you know, I would have to say that, right? For 2015, 2018, and we are second at this point to date in terms of what Bloomberg has said. But 2 weeks ago, we were number one. So we are watching this to see what will happen. And I want you to watch it with me so that we know where we are for the end of the year. But it is no secret that we have a very clear vision on what the standard in training in the financial services sector and its employees should be. So you would be coming to the right place. We understand that daily the rules of the game changes in the financial sector, as well as other sectors of commerce. And the risk in the market are greater now due to new and sophisticated products. You know, we're looking at bitcoins, and we are looking at other asset class, we would say. And, you know, as a result of that, the Jamaica Stock Exchange will be there to guide the market through these various sophisticated products. So, there can be only one place to look. Our programs take these variables of this sophistication and all of that global changes in mind. And so there are several hundred persons working in the financial sector that will benefit from getting on board. We're hoping today to shed more light on the programs we offer, the matter of admission, the persons are here, or flexible payment plan, and the importance of the campus in general, and why we wish to engage you in having the campus as central to your thought. Whether as an individual or as a company or as HR, the campus must be central to your thoughts. Again, welcome.
On behalf of the JC Group and the eCampus, I would like to extend to you all a warm welcome and thanks for taking your time to be a part of this very informative event. I'm very pleased to be a part of the technical group which handles all technical matters relating to the eCampus. Our main objectives and goals and responsibilities are to provide training for our faculty members and our staff, as well as the eCampus administrative unit and our other stakeholders such as our students and the general public at large. I will be demoing our relevant technologies that we use in our day-to-day operations, as well as I'll be, giving you some brief system requirements of the systems that we use. Our website is based on Moodle, which is basically the benchmark for all universities and tertiary institutions worldwide. Basically, every tertiary institution uses Moodle to develop their website in order to provide that hub, that platform, that community, which all our facilitators, our participants, technical administrators, and the administrative staff of the eCampus can interact.
eCampus was designed to engage the learner. I will briefly introduce you to some of its features and activities, beginning with the homepage. There is always something happening on eCampus and in the financial world, and eCampus Happenings is where you get the latest headlines. To your right, you will see a message notification box that shows messages sent to you from other students, your teachers, or administration. You will also notice a calendar that shows events for the current month. We'll talk more about calendar later. Let's move into one of my courses. To your left and to your right, you will notice several boxes that show you the latest news, all the course activities, upcoming course events, and others. You will notice that the course has an introduction. This section gives you all the information you need to know on the course. This section will also be updated to provide you with the latest information of most importance to the course material. You will also notice that the course has a general chat room and a general forum, two great ways of communicating with your peers. The forum lets you view topics created by teachers and other students. You can also create your own topics and comment on open ones. This is a great way to post general questions to your class members. The chat room allows you to have live chat sessions with class members who are currently online. Your teacher may sometimes use this as an open session to answer general queries. Let's now look at assignments. Assignments are given with clear instructions and may sometimes require you to submit a file. A file can be in PDF, Word, Excel. It all depends on what the teacher instructs you to do. And for the real deal, the course content. Content is delivered in video and audio. It lets you pause, skip, go back, and continue from wherever you left off the last time. The beauty about this experience is, if you didn't get the lecture the first time around, you can always go back and watch it again for as long as it's available. And let's look at the quiz. You get instant feedback as you answer each question, and your grade is known immediately at the end of each quiz. Didn't do so well? Don't worry. You get 3 attempts, but keep this in mind. The final grade will be the average of all 3 attempts. This is an online course, but you still get to see and talk with your lecturer. Each course has at least one web meeting session with your lecturer. In this session, The lecturer can share his screen with you as you work through a problem. He may also give you the floor so that you may be seen as you speak to the rest of the class. This is all for now. Thank you and enjoy your eCampus learning experience.
The next video I'll be presenting is our web platform. We use a technology called Zoom webinars. I'm sure most of us might have been previously exposed or we have heard of Zoom before. It is a very interactive, collaborative tool that's very easy to use.
Expand your reach and build relevance with your target audience using Zoom video webinars. Zoom's flexible registration controls allow you to gather valuable information. Designate your interactive video panelists that can present and screen share with up to 10,000 attendees and to an unlimited audience with Facebook Live or YouTube streaming. The host can promote any viewer to an interactive panelist at any time. Live Q&A and chat allow you and your panelists to answer attendee questions on the fly. Registration, Q&A, and polling are all linked to detailed reporting. Zoom's powerful integrations help you get more out of your webinars. Monetize your content with our PayPal integration and simplify follow-up with our CRM integrations. Let your webinar live on after the live event by enabling our on-demand feature, allowing you to capture new registrants long after the webinar's end. Webinars are perfect for town hall meetings, large-scale trainings, product announcements, marketing lead generation, and more. Reach a broader audience and grow your impact with Zoom video webinars.
I never thought I'd hear the day when blackberries are archaic. It just goes to show that we have to keep up with the times, and the product that the JSC eCampus has, this online professional development platform, is keeping up with the times. People want what they want, when they want it on time, and they want it delivered in a convenient manner. Gone are the days when you're going to be expecting people to come after you have completed or you're in your workspace to come to a 2-year, you don't have the time, and no workplace can manage anything like that. So I'm here to give you an overview of what I term a marquee product of the eCampus. The product I want to give you an overview of, and I won't be very long, is called a Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Services Management. Long acronym there. The Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Services Management is an occupational graduate program. It is higher than a bachelor's degree and everything else, associates, so on. It is a graduate program. So it is a postgraduate qualification, and it is an occupational qualification. You'll hear a little bit more in a couple of slides what I mean, or the distinction between occupational versus academic. It offers industry participants opportunities for critical exploration of the regulatory framework, governance issues, financial products, and services in an academic climate of high intellectual rigor. And a part of why this program was developed was because of a recognition that someone may come to the financial sector with an MBA or a bachelor's degree from a recognized institution abroad. But the actual workings, the mechanism of how the financial sector works locally is not treated. And so there was a need for persons to get up to speed to be able to deliver products and services in a much more efficient way. And hence the concept here. But I must also say before I move to the next slide that the concept was a visionary one from Mrs. Merlin Street Forest. I mean, I'm sure she's accustomed to that term being associated with her name now. Matter of fact, you can probably say Merlin Visionary Forest. because it was out of her idea, really, that this need was being filled. It is 15 months in length. And this, by the way, compares very well with similar occupational postgraduate degrees in the world. Now, what is a professional degree? Remember I said I'd tell you what the distinction between a professional and an academic degree. And I put it in bold there, partly. Well, first of all, let's go from the first bullet. It helps students to prepare for careers in their specific fields. So you have professional degrees in law, in pharmacy, in medicine, education. The length of the programs can vary, but span anywhere from 1 to 5 years. So 15 months is pretty optimal, as you can see. But important there, professional degrees are designed to directly prepare students for a particular career, hence the term professional or occupational degree. All right? And I just gave a list of a couple of them that exist. And part of the reason why I use Juris Doctor and Doctor of Medicine is because all of a sudden when you hear about doctorates in these areas, you see prestige. So I'm making you understand that the postgraduate diploma in financial services management has pedigree. Now, what is an academic degree? An academic degree, the emphasis typically is about research. And I like to break it down for my students when they first enter in a class that I teach about research. Research is really about learning first. And it is that you are the lead learner in the field. And you're creating new knowledge. It's not about working with what you have. It's about creating new knowledge. And typically it's very heady and academic and published in journals and so on. So there's a clear distinction between an occupational or professional degree as opposed to an academic degree. So I looked at 5 reputable institutions in the Commonwealth. I chose the Commonwealth. The United States of America tends to have all kind of variants, but I wanted a system that we could compare to ours. So I looked at the UK and Canada, and I'm sure you recognize some of these institutions here. There's the Seneca College of Applied Arts and Technology in Canada, Oxford University, the #1 university in the world, bar none, University of Salford, Manchester, London School of Business and Finance, and the famous London School of Economics, and Douglas College. Douglas College is Canada, Seneca College, Canada, the rest obviously in the UK. They have those products there, and you can see the terms are very, very similar to the one that we have. The overall offerings are also very similar, okay? And look at the costing. You can't beat what we sell here. The role and function of the Jamaica Stock Exchange is very similar to the role and function of the UCJ, University Council of Jamaica. What both institutions have in common is that they tell potential stakeholders that you can trust this organization. So you are listed on the stock exchange, these people can be trusted. They won't be fly by night and take your money and disappear. And you know what I mean. The UCJ is telling us the same thing. Essentially, in an educational organization, you don't want to go and invest your time or your money in a fly-by-night organization. There's much more to it. But I'm saying to you, what UCJ says, you can trust this product. Now, it's important to note that whereas for the diploma, the postgraduate diploma, you need to do 14 courses, you may take any one course by itself. So you can decide, oh, you know, I want to know a little bit more about risk management. There's a course for that. I want to know about corporate governance. There's a course. So say I want to just do a course by itself, you can do that, as opposed to taking on all 14. There's no comparable program available at any of these institutions to compare with the $250,000 or so that it is being offered for here in Jamaica at the eCampus. Now, I did the benchmarking of the product itself, but I want to put also the context of the eCampus in this one slide. This is the London Stock Exchange, and I'm sure Mrs. Forrest knows, and those of us that have had the opportunity to take a look at the landscape, that London Stock Exchange has what they call an academy. They do not leave professional development of the financial sector up to chance. And what they use is the term bespoke. They are prepared to create bespoke professional development training opportunities for anybody, anywhere in the world. So if you want a course in Jamaica, they can make it for you, but we don't want you to do that. That is our site, and you can see down the bottom there, new and exciting upcoming workshops. That's the bespoke side of the eCampus. Entry requirements are listed here. And by the way, the third requirement there, speaking about material postgraduate diploma applicants. In other words, we're looking at industry experience. This isn't a willy-nilly thing. It is a part of how educational institutions have evolved, a part of how we now matriculate persons. Think of somebody who is a virtuoso at the guitar. They have never read a note in their life, but they can play it better than, drop something they can do. We say, okay, we won't invalidate that you can't read notes. Come and handle whatever action or activity in terms of playing a song or playing what you have done. And we can evaluate that and determine for what amount of credits or how that can be used to matriculate you into the system. So you may have entered the financial sector without necessarily, many people have soared to the top without beginning initially with any formal training. So we're not invalidating that. That's a reality. That's the way of the world. That's how every institution now operates. So that's what that mature applicants pertains to. So we say we will take industry experience as well as part of what can be used to matriculate you into the program. But first degree, JC Securities course, or any other FSC-approved first-level course, at least 3 years relevant experience within the financial services sector or a related field. So what we're saying is that this program is for you. Wherever you sit, this program is for you. If you're serious about advancement in your career. I don't know how many have recognized this gentleman. He was the former head of Heart NTA. And now that's a national body, and now he's the head of the Caribbean Examinations Council, CSEC. So he has moved from head of a national organization to now the head of a regional organization. He has a PhD in industrial engineering. He said this. He came and did the program. And at the graduating ceremony, he described it as by far one of my most consequential studies when he came and did the program here. And as a part of what this program is about, ultimately the persons that leave are the brand ambassadors. And he was so pleased that he was prepared to say this about not comparing his industrial engineering degree from University in Florida and the list of other qualifications he had. He felt that this was one of his most, because it helped him, according to him, when we spoke to him, to function in his role as the CEO of his organization. Because he said he would sit down sometimes in meetings prior to this and hear about them talking about the budget, and he couldn't understand what was going on. But subsequent to the program, he was able now to plot the institution's financial development, which is quite a big deal for us. So we're very proud of him, one of our graduates, Dr. Wayne Wesley. So I call it a marquee product. As a scientist, I try not to use words idly. I'm very serious about it.
When we return, you'll hear from our guest speaker. Who is it? You'll find out when we come back. Stay with us.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what?
You are watching Business Access Television.
So, Mrs. Street Forest, the eCampus was launched in 2012 and it's a number of years now. What's the traction been like and what can we expect going forward from this regime introduced by the JSC?
We have been successful in having many students from all different industries partake of the programs that we have. The flagship program, which is the postgraduate diploma in financial services management, and all the other workshops, the attending workshops that talk about products and services within the financial sector and otherwise. Our uptick has been very good. You know, we have had the accreditation from UCJ. We also have approval from the Financial Services Commission and the CPD certification. And these bolster just what people get from the program, hands-on and also qualification to take them to the next level. And you know, we are looking at areas such as blockchain technology, digital asset management, digitization of your organization. These are some things that are critical to the success of organizations, and whatever comes within the environment that will lead to a better and more sustainable financial sector, we are there. So these are the programs that we continue to offer, and anything that evolves, we offer those as well.
So Dr. Benjamin, talk to us about the accreditation for the courses. Now many persons may be concerned, yes, they hear about the courses being offered, but generally a concern is there about accreditation. Are these courses accredited?
Yes, very good question. I want to first of all give us a sense of what accreditation means. In my earlier presentation, I pointed out that at the center of accreditation is a matter of public trust. And persons can think about it as you would think about being listed on the stock exchange, for example. What that means is that possible persons who want to invest know that the money is not going to disappear when they invest it. Academic accreditation is relatively similar. The University Council of Jamaica provides a platform and relevant processes and procedures that when a company or when an institution, when a program has been accredited by the University Council of Jamaica, what they're saying is that potential stakeholders, students who might come on board, financiers, matter of fact, you can't get a student loan if you're not going to be going in an accredited program. So you're saying to the person that, look, this is a program that is trustworthy. It is going to add value. It is the kind of program that will be recognized wherever in the world that you go. And so the JSE campus postgraduate diploma in financial services management is one such accredited program.
And for persons generally who may be interested in, let's say, pursuing this course, how well does it tie in, or how different is it from any other postgraduate degree, let's say, offered by any other institution? Why is it that I should choose doing this program over any other?
Absolutely. No, the program is offered by the Jamaica Stock Exchange eCampus. One of the key mandates of the eCampus from its parent body was to ensure that the providers of financial services in the landscape are well equipped to provide advice, to provide innovative services and products to the market. And in order for this to happen, they have to have a firm understanding of the governance structures of the banking industry, financial services industry, understand international best practices, of course, local best practices, and so on. And we ensure that all our graduates, when they leave the program, through having done the 14 courses, there are about 17 outcomes we have put there. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. But among them are the essentials to be able to advise and to develop and implement products, both financial products, as well as to provide advice to potential clients as to how to invest their own money. Yes.
So you're saying, of course, by all means, it's the best program to choose to do.
It is the best program because it is customized for the Jamaican context. And even if somebody has another degree, they would probably be studying a lot of theories, and it's not that we don't do theory work in the postgraduate diploma in financial services management, but that we are looking at it more as an occupational and an applied degree, so that it is more practical, it's more hands-on, it's more oriented towards being able to respond to the needs of the Jamaican local context.
So, Mr. Parks, the Jamaica Stock Exchange's eCampus has a wide range of courses offered. Tell us a bit about these programs.
Sure. Well, our flagship program is our postgraduate diploma in financial services management. We have a suite of other postgraduate certificates that are offered, including we have the compliance and information governance, we have the financial planning and wealth management, we have the brokerage operations, and many others that are specialized to the different sector. So because we cater to the financial services sector, we have persons who need more enhanced training for security brokers, banking, insurance, and any other entity that offers financial services in general. But we also offer a suite of workshops that are specifically designed to enhance the learning outcomes, to ensure that persons can become a more enhanced desk-ready operant. That is, we highlight gaps that might be there in the marketplace in terms of from an HR perspective, and also persons who are interested in upgrading their skill, because we are CPD certified, which is a continued professional development certification that comes through London, England, and we ensure that everything that we offer are at the highest level to enable all of our participants to be desk-ready operant, or to be a desk-ready operant, and bring an immediacy in terms of the know-how right to their desk for the benefit of the organizations as a whole.
Now, I know your focus is on strengthening persons in the financial sector, but are there any plans to also offer courses for persons who may not necessarily have a degree now, but may be interested in learning about becoming financially savvy and strengthening their wherewithal as it relates to financial education?
Well, sure. We offer the Jamaica Online Securities course, which is a minimum entry-level requirement for persons who require the basic knowledge. So we cater to varying personnel from that perspective. So persons who require to be licensed by the Financial Services Commission. The Jamaica Online Securities course that we offer is the minimum qualification that the FSC would assess in order to license you to give professional advice. We have persons who gravitate to that program, not necessarily because they want to give advice, but they want to have a better understanding in order to navigate the financial markets as a whole, to ensure that their whole financial health can be enhanced.
So you've basically gotten the best of both worlds, a platform where information is shared and another where it's discussed. I'm Javon Keys. I've been your host, and thanks to you for staying tuned to the Jamaica Stock Exchange's eCampus Open House and Corporate Mingle. And thanks to the Jamaica Stock Exchange for having such an event where they're showcasing the offerings of their eCampus. Thanks for staying with us. Pleasant viewing.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
is not just any other Wednesday. Today pays special observance to a long-held Christian tradition, Ash Wednesday. As we begin a global celebration of a 40-day-long Lenten fast, we'll help you understand a little more about the day and days following. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. So happy you joined us for This Jamaica Magazine. Welcome. While we backtrack to learn about some of the history behind Ash Wednesday, we'll highlight some other noteworthy historical elements of our country. Do stay with us.
Living in Jamaica is an experience that you cannot put in words. There's an energy in the atmosphere that just feels good. There are so many aspects of Jamaica that I think makes it second to none. The best food, the best music, the best people. We can go on and on about the good things about living in Jamaica. There's a parish in Jamaica called Portland. I think that's one of my favorite places to be. It's one of the most nature-oriented parishes, and I love the nightlife in Kingston. Once you come here and you get that connection with the people, that connection with the food and the music and just the lifestyle is something that you'll always remember. People should visit Jamaica because I'm sure 100% that it is the place to be on planet Earth. You need to come here and you'll get an experience that you will never forget.
It must be a good thing that you're still with us, right? I guess you haven't given us up for Lent. All right, seriously though, what is Lent actually about? Well, among other things, it's when many Christians partake in a Lenten sacrifice, that is, committing to fasting and giving up certain comforts of life for a set period of time. Of course, there's more to the tradition, so we'll let you find out about it in our next feature.
He was nailed to the cross for me. He was bruised and battered so that I might go free.
The persecution, the crucifixion, and the resurrection, all reminders of the celebration of Easter. Although edged in controversy over the true origin of the dates, the events of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ are embraced mostly by Catholics, Lutherans, Methodists, and Presbyterians. The tradition also continues with the Anglican, Eastern Orthodox, and some non-denominational churches. It all starts with a day called Ash Wednesday. Derived from the Latin phrase Dies Cinerum, it means Day of Ashes. Per Catholic custom, on this day a cross is marked on the believer's forehead in ashes, symbolizing one's belief in Christ. This marks the physical and spiritual beginning of the Lenten season.
The importance of the practice of Lent in the early church was to prepare candidates for baptism. And part of this was done through an alignment with the life of Christ, his 40 days and 40 nights in the desert.
So his followers observe 40 days of repentance, starting Ash Wednesday and ending Holy Saturday, the day before Easter Sunday. The Sundays in this period are not counted among the 40 fasting days. Ash Wednesday is usually dedicated as a time of fasting and the recital of penitential psalms. Traditional customs include the stages of the cross, with the priest stopping at each of 14 images depicting stages of the condemnation, crucifixion, and resurrection of Christ. The Catholic Church is among those that wear special colors that are supposed to have biblical meaning, like red on Good Friday, signifying dying for Jesus through your faith in God.
A more common practice among other Christian churches is the partaking of the Holy Communion as well as a 21-day fast, which begins on Ash Wednesday.
While some people decide not to eat anything all day, others just have bread and water. Some Christians also abstain from all meat on Ash Wednesday and all Fridays in Lent. But the relevance of this and many of the customs of Easter is a matter of dispute. even among those of the Christian faith.
But if you look at the history, you would have discovered that it has a pagan concept. There's only one passage, that is in Acts chapter 12 and verse 4, and it mentions the word Easter. However, that is in the King James Version. If you look at other newer versions, you'll find Passover, because your original word and the context will show you it says Passover. So there's no biblical support for it.
Christian believers say the number 40 is a special number in the Bible that signifies preparation for something special, like the 40 days of rain that covered the land in a flood in the time of Noah, Moses' sojourn on Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights, Jonah giving the people of Nineveh 40 days to repent.
We see how when Jonah eventually responded to God's entreaty to go to the Ninevites, and he preached to the Ninevites, immediately from the king all the way to a little child, they donned ashes and sackcloth and repented of their sins.
Then there was Jesus' 40 days in the desert in prayer and fasting before he began his ministry. This is said to have prepared Jesus for his work on earth, and it is believed that this practice purifies by weaning men from sin and selfishness.
This is essentially it, to be the body and the blood of Jesus Christ in the world. The aim, the objective of all that we do in our worship, in our prayer, in our self-sacrifice is to become another Christ. And when the church becomes truly this, the church makes a saving impact upon the world.
But that ideal is not the bone of contention. By much of its symbolism and its position on the calendar, Easter is linked to the Jewish Passover and Exodus from Egypt recorded in the Old Testament. But Christians base much of their beliefs and practices on the reports of Jesus' Last Supper. Yet that foundation is contested by sources like the ecclesiastical historian Socrates of Constantinople, also known as Socrates Scholasticus, and not to be confused with the Greek philosopher Socrates. Socrates Scholasticus attributes the observance of Easter simply to the church's attempts to perpetuate its customs, insisting that neither Jesus nor his apostles endorsed this or any other such festival.
But despite opposing views that there is neither biblical nor historical record of Jesus, the apostles or the early church's participation in Lenten season, Christians are holding fast to the tradition and strongly believe it still has its significance today.
Still, they are not united on the date.
You'd have to go back from about, say, the 3rd century. It started the practice and was fully canonized with the Council of Nicaea. That is AD 325, the Constantine. And they sort of gave credence to it. By the time you got to the 8th century, it was already fully established. So coming down to us, they'd have lost whatever concept it had before, because there was no biblical support for it. But by the time it comes to us now, it is well entrenched. So everybody seems to answer and believe in what we call the Easter story.
Using the Gregorian calendar, Christian churches in the West celebrate Easter on the first Sunday following the full moon after the vernal equinox on March 21. Easter is therefore observed anywhere between March 22 and April 25 every year. The Eastern Orthodox and most Oriental Orthodox churches retained the Julian calendar, typically celebrating the holiday a week or two after the Western churches.
So the Czech Church's perspective on whether it's Lent or seeing Lent as the renewal of the life of human beings is placed within worship itself. And for us, that worship takes place on a daily basis.
We have no problem with that because we accept the sacrifice of Jesus Christ and his atonement for us. What we don't believe in, it is the Easter celebration that takes place.
In Holy Scripture, there is this constant call, constant reminder that our lives are out of sync with God, with what God expects of us. And so we must constantly be in a state of renewal. Lent is a call to renewal.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
Today we're journeying to the old capital to share an old story with a new generation. We're building on our history with a very significant piece of the story from the Filippo Baptist Church.
It was our own national hero, the Right Excellent Sam Sharp, an enslaved man and a freedom fighter who said, "I would rather die upon yonder gallows than live in slavery." That sentiment was also shared by many other slaves. But the fight for freedom and the hope for victory brought liberation to many. Right here in Jamaica, the movement to end slavery was very active, and landmarks across the island document this part of our history.
We are on the Emancipation Trail, and we're looking at the symbolic parts of Jamaica which relate to emancipation, a very important change of status in our country. We're here in the Filippo Baptist Church compound in Spanish Town. Spanish Town is a very old city, founded in 1539, I believe, and this particular site was where the Baptists created a congregation in 1818. And this church, built by the Baptists at the time of Reverend Filippo, was part of the congregation that was very supportive of the move to emancipate all enslavement. And that is a magnificent building going back probably close to 200 years. This church is very historic. Right here, under this tamarind tree, and identified by this plaque, is the slave chains which were buried on August the 1st, 1838. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Deacon Ivan O'Connor, a member of this congregation, who is going to tell us some more about this very historic site and its relationship to emancipation.
I understand that part of the Declaration of Emancipation was read from the steps of this church. And a deep hole was dug right here, and all the chains that were available were put in there and covered. And a tamarind tree was put there as a monument. I understand that the first tamarind tree was destroyed by the 51 hurricane, but it was replaced. And it stands here now as a monument where people can come and get tamarind and remember the slavery chains.
And touch the monument
right.
As part of our experience
right. It is here
of
as a
what
reminder.
Emancipation was all about.
Right.
But I also think we have to remind ourselves that the original official declaration was read from the steps of King's House,
That's
the facade which is still in front of the square.
That square is Emancipation Square, which is also in Spanish Town and just a few meters away from the Filippo Baptist Church. Here was once the town center. Other important buildings in the square include the Old House of Assembly, Rodney's Memorial, and the Old Courthouse. The area was severely damaged by fire, as well as the 1692 earthquake. But parts of the buildings have since been restored and put to use. Back over at the Filippo Baptist Church,
we want to reaffirm how important the Baptist movement and denomination was to emancipation. They were major players in persuading the English government to declare free at last, emancipation on the 1st of August, 1838.
And it is believed that the chains of slaves were buried at the Philippa Baptist Church due to its close proximity to Emancipation Square and the unrelenting movement by the Baptist Church to put an end to slavery.
Somebody said some time ago, how can we write the history of Jamaica without including the Baptists? The Baptists were one of the churches that were very integral to the teaching of the slaves and emancipation. James Philippo was one of the persons who was integral in getting emancipation for the slaves in Jamaica.
While emancipation was declared for slaves, their conditions were not improved. So the movement for a more just society was challenged by Paul Bogle and George William Gordon. They were also part of the Baptist movement and later became two of our national heroes. As a result of this involvement, Baptist work in Jamaica became an enduring symbol of the church's opposition to slavery and all other forms of injustice.
This building was put up sometime about 1827 thereabout and has been maintained over time. It's a natural heritage site, and so the National Heritage Trust has control over what happens here. Right after emancipation, James Philippo established free villages like in Sligoville, in parts of Clarendon, and also established churches. So this church is steeped in our history in Jamaica.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the four corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. You know, your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, you know, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
You know, one of the most unique things about Jamaicans is how we can take cultural practices and make them our own. Here's a common one: Easter traditions. We've seasoned these global observances to create our own intricate blend of things, while of course still remaining true to the original observances.
Easter, a holiday for some to relax on the beach with family and friends or just hang out at their favorite spots. But for Christians, the day, also known as Resurrection Sunday, takes on a deeper meaning. It marks the day when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. This, of course, followed the crucifixion of Jesus Christ 3 days before, which is called Good Friday.
He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told while he was still with you in Galilee, the Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day be raised again.
Easter Sunday is the culmination of the Passion of Jesus, preceded by Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. At the heart of the matter is God's love for humanity. Over the years, a mixture of traditions and practices have been perpetuated, like placing egg white in a container of water on Holy Thursday night so that by Good Friday you will see your future. This is determined by the pattern which is formed by the coagulating egg white. Then there is the eating of bun and cheese. This custom dates back to Britain with the eating of hot cross buns on Good Friday. It's a small, round, slightly sweet bun made with a cross cut on the top, which is understood as a symbol of the crucifixion, thus the name hot cross bun, which was only sold during specific times such as Good Friday. The British brought this custom when they settled in Jamaica. Though the practice has diminished in Britain, it is still prevalent here in Jamaica. Of course, we've added our spices to the bun mixture and a faithful partner, cheese. Bun and cheese is mainly eaten during the Easter holiday. There is also the practice of some Jamaicans to cut the physic nut or bleeding tree around midday on Good Friday. It is believed that the sap will seep a red substance that signifies the blood of Jesus. It's also believed that the crucifixion was carried out on a similar type of tree. Numerous churches are decorated with the Easter lily during the holiday. It's a plant which seems to appropriately bloom on Easter Sunday. The Easter lily symbolizes purity, innocence, and virtue due to its snow-white color and white trumpet. Another custom is the exclusion of meat for the Lenten period. That's 40 days after Ash Wednesday, with fish being the main staple on many tables.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Part of keeping our roads safe is ensuring the vehicles we drive are mechanically safe, meeting all roadworthy requirements. And besides that, we must be good drivers and avoid risk-taking and sensation-seeking behaviors which are prone to causing road crashes.
So let's pause on the history lessons for a bit and press play on today, or more like just a month ago. Let's now recap on some of the work coming out of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology's ECPA Roundtable session.
The future of motor vehicles is electric. The government of Jamaica is taking steps to prepare the country and Jamaicans to take advantage of the opportunities of transitioning from gas power to electric motor vehicles. The Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, MSET, hosted a roundtable discussion on the subject at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James on January 24.
We're having this event to raise awareness about e-mobility and to signal to the people of Jamaica that this is a significant priority. Jamaica is redefining the energy landscape to allow us to scale up actions to achieve energy security, energy efficiency, energy resilience, and greater energy investments in the country.
The Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, is supporting Jamaica in developing the policy framework for transitioning to electric mobility.
We're bringing $1.5 million in grant. We're helping with the strategic framework. We're helping with feasibility studies. We're helping with looking at innovative ways of financing. And together we can be part of that climate change solution.
The roundtable discussion was held ahead of the 4th Energy and Climate Partnership of the Americas ECPA ministerial meeting, scheduled to take place in Montego Bay at the Montego Bay Convention Center, February 27 to 28, 2020.
You know how they say it's so nice that you have to do it twice? Well, the ECPA Roundtable was that good. We had to give you just a bit more.
The recently concluded high-level roundtable discussion on electric mobility, convened by the Minister of Science, Energy and Technology at the Montego Bay Convention Center on Friday, January 24, provided an excellent opportunity for the key stakeholders and partners from the energy and transport sectors, as well as development partners and members of the business community to outline their plans, concerns, and recommendations towards the ministry's thrust towards electric mobility. The dialogue was robust and interactive.
First of all, I would just like to thank the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology for having a forum such as this, because it is very important and it is a part of ensuring the communication and dialogue on electric mobility continues.
What exactly is going to be the larger scale plan in terms of public transportation? Is it going to be a reliance on smaller vehicles, or is it going to be larger buses?
JUTC has fuel and maintenance as one of their major expenditures. We are actually very anxious to do a pilot testing.
From our perspective, going
electric going E is the way to go. There is no resistance on our part. The new car dealers have to put in the correct tooling, get the correct training. We need to make sure that everybody is on board.
I just want to say by the questions being asked, I can tell that there is a lot of interest in this, and that's why we took the step as government to, along with our development partner IDB, to develop a strategic framework for this sector. We will make that available to the public in due course in a matter of weeks.
This roundtable discussion on electric mobility is just one in a series of dialogues that the ministry intends to hold with policymakers, the private sector and the public, as plans progress to accelerate the uptake of renewable energy and advance Jamaica's energy transformation. The roundtable is a precursor to the Energy and Climate Partnership of the Americas ECPA ministerial meeting, where Jamaica will host energy ministers from some 30 countries, as well as development partners and private sector stakeholders in the regional space, at the Montego Bay Convention Center, February 27 to 28, 2020.
If you subscribe to Christianity, Lent is a time of spiritual self-discovery, renewal, and an invitation to find God's will for us, a way of finding a purer form of ourselves through sacrifice and prayer. So in keeping with the hope of a successful Lent, even if you are not a Christian believer, here are some things that you may consider not doing. Number 1, don't use Lent as a weight loss regimen. Abstaining from food that we love can be a good way to discipline our bodies, but selfishly looking for an outcome from that can take away from the intended purpose of the sacrifice. Number 2, don't focus solely on yourself. Lent is really a time to improve our relationship with God, and an important part of applying this objective is to bring the love of God to others, whether through our actions or our words. Number 3, don't make your Lenten practices something temporary. How about we use practices adopted during Lent to make lasting progress in our lives? Let's not just hold our breath until Lent is over, only to go back to being the same person we were before it all began. And number 4, don't hold up impossible standards. We could be positioning ourselves for failure by setting up too many stringent aspirations. Sometimes it's better to achieve a limited number of things well than to aspire for an impractical number of goals all at once. And speaking of goals, that's why we have Vision 2030, realistic goals, charting a realistic path, one that helps to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Your 30 minutes with us is ending in a few seconds, but we have 39 more days to go for the Lenten season. Thanks so much for inviting us into your homes. Now here's a chance to watch some of our other shows on our YouTube channel and by visiting the JIS website at www.jis.gov.jm or our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Happy Ash Wednesday, or what's left of it anyway. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
You're watching Business Access TV. Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious.
Serious about business.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards was established in 2004 to emphasize best practices within businesses. We're here at the Jamaica Pegasus celebrating with some of these organizations. I am Tamar McHale with Business Access TV. Stay tuned for more. It's cocktail hour, and that of course means mingling. Let's catch up with some of the guests at the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards ceremony. And it's always a pleasure catching up with Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest, Managing Director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Pleasure to have you with us on Business Access TV.
Always a pleasure too.
All right, so why is it important to have a Best Practices Award?
It is important because companies can be benchmarked against good practices or excellent practices. And after they do that, they also can benefit from being recognized by their peers and by the Jamaica Stock Exchange in respect to a job well done.
I'm now joined by Mr. Neva Ying, Committee Chair of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards. It's a pleasure to have you joining with us.
A pleasure again with Business Access TV.
What are some of the things that you are looking for in these businesses to select those which have the best practices?
Well, as a committee name suggests, we're looking for international best practices in different categories. So look at things like their annual reports, we'll look at their websites, we'll look at how well they relate with their customers, and we look at, in some cases, how much business they bring to the stock exchange in terms of number of companies listed. Companies take it very seriously. The rivalry is very keen, and they value it a lot because if you look after the awards in terms of advertisements and how they use it to brand their companies, you'll see that they place a great deal of importance on how they place in these competitions.
Any changes tonight, any changes moving forward for the JSC Best Practices Award?
Well, every year we have something new that we add. So, for instance, next year we'll be taking a closer look at the website because, you know, as technology changes, the websites are performing a different role from before. I mean, a lot of people are now into using the internet to get information. So whereas in the past you'd be reading documents, hard copies, now you're going to the internet for information. So companies have to respond to that. So we'll be taking a close look at that. We'll be looking at things like the attention they pay to risk management, which is very important in this era because it's very tricky running a business now. And so the people who survive are those who are willing to take risk, and then they eventually make profits.
Well, I understand that the competition is stiff this evening, among the companies. What do you think has caused this stiff competition?
Well, everybody wants to be recognized by the best performing stock exchange in the world. I mean, the fact is that competition is always good, and nobody wants to be second. So, hence, everybody strives to be number one with regards to what the stock exchange has put out as the criteria for being best performing in whatever category they are looking at.
Okay, and moving forward, what changes is the stock exchange making to be even bigger and better?
Well, we recently transitioned to the NASDAQ transactional platform, which is world renowned, and that should augur well for the improvement in our efficiencies at the exchange. That's one thing. And we're also looking at other initiatives out of Canada which will allow us to have knowledge transfer technology transfer from the Canadian Stock Exchange, which will make the stock exchange actually, if there's something better than number one, we probably gonna get it.
Amazing. Well, congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you very much.
So the beautiful Dr. Nsombe Jaja is a member of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Award Committee. It is a pleasure to have you joining us with Business Access TV. Tell us, how do you think this award has really raised the bar in terms of what is expected from companies?
You know, I've been a member of the committee for over 10 years now, and I am amazed to see the difference year by year and the improvements that have taken place in the companies. Their level of reporting in their annual reports, much more engaging, much crisper, easier to read, better quality information, and you can actually see it in other areas that are assessed, like the website, governance committee, best performing companies, and the criteria that we look at for those organizations. A couple of areas that I'm really very glad to see the improvement in is risk management, environmental management, human resources management, and corporate social responsibilities. I'm really very pleased to see how much attention the organizations are paying in those areas, and it's just raising the bar and upping the games of the organizations that participate. So congratulations, those of you who are winners this year, and those of you who have not yet won, keep on raising the standard so that you'll be a winner.
So tonight, Best Practices Award of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. What do you think of this award ceremony? How important do you think it is?
It's very important. You know, it's the 15th year, so it's a big night, and we're very happy for the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And for us, we always see it as something that gives us an opportunity to pause, not only as listed companies, which JMMB is, but as member dealers, brokers, which we are also, to just celebrate and acknowledge each other. You know, the Stock Exchange has been doing amazing. They have ended another year being the top performing stock exchange in the world, and that's nothing to scoff at. So we're very happy to be here to celebrate this night.
Okay, so what has JMMB been doing to improve on their best practices to be among the top world-class, you know, Jamaica Stock Exchange, as you just mentioned?
Well, lots of stuff. You know, my head of compliance always has us on our toes, you know. So we're always looking at, you know, what do we need to do to be better. So starting with the information that we put out there, we have an active research team that makes sure that timely and accurate information hits the market in terms of our disclosure practices, how timely they are, how frequently they happen, and again, what kind of information do we put out there. It's all part of the whole ecosystem of, again, being a listed company. Yes, there's that aspect of the disclosure, but how are we supporting the investing public as a broker by helping them to make wise investment decisions, again, through the information that we put out there about the other listed companies also. So we're very busy, but we're excited, and you know, win, lose, or draw, we're just happy to be a part of this event as we have been for the last 15 years.
Okay, thank you very much, and all the best tonight.
Thanks, Tamara. Appreciate it.
I'm now joined by Mr. Zachary Harding, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. Tell us, what are some of the best practices that your company has implemented, has been emphasizing?
Sure. So the main thing that we're focusing on is customer service. Obviously, we have no business if we have no customers. So nothing matters what products we have, what other special things we're doing. Doesn't matter unless we can serve our customers in an appropriate way. So a lot of training has gone in to making sure that the team is at a level where they can understand all of the products and services that we have and be able to answer all the questions that our investors and clients will have. So the main focus is just on people.
So just as we're about to wrap up this cocktail hour, I'm joined by Ms. Greta Bogues, and she is one of the committee members of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards. A pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Delighted to be here.
Okay, so tell us about the awards process for the corporate governance aspect, because I understand that that's the area that you're in charge of.
Thank you very much. Yes, I actually chair the corporate governance committee for the awards, and it's a very, very, very interesting process because, as you know, this particular process is a volunteer. So we don't actually, or companies I say, they have to submit applications, and then we go through a process to evaluate what they have submitted. So they have a questionnaire that they need to complete, and then they submit that with a lot of their governance documents. We look also at the annual report, and we also look at the website, because our objective is to ensure that the spirit of corporate governance is being practiced in the organization, and also very important that they are complying with the regulations and legislation as stipulated by the stock exchange rules.
Okay. And my final question, because as we award this evening those who are the top of the top, what advice would you give to those who you feel they need to make some improvements?
Well, I think that we've come a very far way in these best practice awards. And one thing that research has shown actually is that the more we actually have these awards where we recognize peers, the more persons become very interested in being a part of it. And as actually I find the environment very competitive. I find the listed companies very competitive. But one thing I would say to all listed companies, make sure you abide by the rules. The rules are very stated clearly in the rule book. But more importantly, what shareholders, stakeholders are asking for is disclosure and transparency. And therefore, if you can do that, that's the start of the journey to be in the top for the Best Practice Awards.
This wraps up the cocktail segment of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Award. But the show has only begun. When we return, we head to the main stage.
Dodgen Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodgen Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodgen Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodgen Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the JSE Best Practices Awards 2018. I am Dr. Terry Carell-Reid. It is a pleasure to serve as your MC for this evening. In about June, I had the pleasure of chairing the 50th Anniversary Awards here at the Jamaica Pegasus. And I had the opportunity of saying that it was quite an honor for a number of reasons. Number one, I transitioned from being a saver to an investor. And I did it because of a very good friend of mine, my broker, Ryan Strawn, who I think is here today. Very handsome gentleman. And he came and he took me out of my wicked ways and he said, Terry, let us make you some money. So I was a conservative investor and he held my hand and he took me through. And now Ryan sends me WhatsApp messages saying, Terry, send on 500,000. We're going to buy some stock. I'm to get that money to you, Ryan. Good to see you. So I am the first person to actually start investing in my family, but it didn't stop there. My daughter turned 7, March the 1st, and I decided to open up a portfolio for her, and again, Ryan helped me with that, just because I wanted to be something that is generational in terms of financial literacy. But then it was an honor because I remember Bloomberg had stated really early in the year, from January, I think, that the Jamaica Stock Exchange was the world's best performing stock exchange. So in June, I remember saying at the 50th Anniversary Awards that was rich, real rich. Now, in this last quarter, I happen to follow the Jamaica Stock Exchange on Instagram, and if you're not following them, you need to. I think it's one of the coolest accounts you could follow. I'm seeing the Canadian Securities Exchange. I see Marlene Street Forrest and her team. They're in Canada. They're on the New York Stock Exchange. They're ringing the bell over here. They're ringing the bell over there. She's on Bloomberg TV. And I said, but I can't say it, Rich. This is what we call opulent. Opulent. Seeing the Jamaican flag flown high at the New York Stock Exchange. I don't know if you saw the images. I couldn't have been prouder. And then most recently, I believe it was the NASDAQ tower that again said, congratulations, JSE. The JSE Go Live is there, and you guys are doing such big things. So again, I am here, I am standing here as a proud investor. I'm standing here as a very proud Jamaican to be your MC for this evening. I recognize this lady as a superstar because that is who she is. She is an absolute leader, and we've had the privilege of seeing her and her team do a tour. She always speaks so highly of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, of our businesses, our brokers, and the entire ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Managing Director of JSE, Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest.
Tonight is priceless. And so it is really an honor and indeed a privilege to welcome you to this, our 15th Best Practices Awards ceremony. We are more excited about this evening than in the prior years, as unlike the others, this year we celebrate a momentous occasion. 15 years of unshakable dedication of all our stakeholders to the vision and purpose of these awards. Traditionally, 15th anniversaries are marked by crystals or watches. These gifts signify that this anniversary means that we have a better understanding of our purpose, and though time has passed, there's every intention that the clock will continue to tick for another 15 years. I'm sure you'll forgive me, though, if I make a slight segue and shine the spotlight on the JSE itself, which is marking its 50th year. I firstly want to give thanks for the enormous international exposure we have received throughout the year. Some of the accolades with which we were showered include being named the best performing exchange for 2018, coinciding with the period under which these awards are adjudged. We were also named top performing exchange in number 5, continuing in 2019, and we will see where the year will end. In Europe, we were bestowed with the honor of the European CEO Awards for the most innovative exchange for 2019. During the year, we were overwhelmed with gratitude, particularly by the fire lit by Jamaica diasporans who have been encouraged to invest in our market. This ignited a real desire by external markets and people everywhere to learn a bit more about Jamaica, not only the Jamaica Stock Exchange, but Jamaica. No doubt that this makes best practices even more critical. The world's financial community must see us as leading the charge for best practices in and good governance of our companies. There is a weight on every company here this evening to ensure that there is best practice in its organization and good governance, because the world is looking. This year, too, there was phenomenal and record attendance, over 2,000 persons at our National Investor Education Week open house, where the focus again was investing in companies. I'm doing a little promotion here as well, because on the regional conference in 2020, our focus again will be on market development and sustainability of companies. Now, as we mark this significant occasion of our 15th JSE Best Practices Awards, we feel sure that we have etched in the minds of our stakeholders that these awards are important and that they are coming from a long time before best practices was a popular thing to work towards and even talk about. We believe that the JC Best Practices Awards push companies to embrace high standards and encourage them to apply these standards across their organization. We expect among these things, best practices will improve workplace skills, reduce waste, and foster greater efficiency in the use of technology. As you know, the Jamaica Stock Exchange is big on technology. We have gone to NASDAQ, and next year you will be seeing us reaching out to companies more in terms of utilizing the system. Best practices, however, are ever evolving and so will continue to be relevant, just like these awards. They are meant to light the way and help keep us focused on the important objectives of giving of our best in critical areas of business, which have been so judged and for which we are eagerly anticipating this evening. As we continue to promote the importance of companies upholding the best practices within their organizations, tonight's event is simply a way of saying that we recognize that your companies have been doing it right. Tonight represents an avenue where your colleagues and competitors can share that you are being recognized for your excellence and your quest for perfection. We recognize that emphasis on best practices change, and we must change with them. So, in terms of the JSC and the committees, we must take a closer look at the impact of, and also of the companies, impact of social sectors, and we are asking our companies to look at things like climate change, cybercrime, and issues of diversity in the workplace. As we become more global players, these are key components of the best-in-class companies. We are assured that as our committee prepares for the next 15 years, that we will not be left behind, but we will remain just as relevant as we are when we started 15 years ago. To our listed companies and member dealers, we want to say thanks again for making a market of which we can all be proud as our position, the best performing exchange in the world, to a large extent, is as a result of your work. Your performance allows the exchange to speak confidently on the world stage of your commitment to your organization and these awards. Once again, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this awards ceremony. We have much to be thankful for. You honor your peers and us with your presence and the support of our efforts, and for this, we are truly thankful. As I close, I want to briefly reflect on the historic moment when we raised the Jamaican flag at the New York Stock Exchange and promoted Jamaica through the Bloomberg Channel earlier this year. We would like you to help us to keep that flag flying. Welcome, everyone.
At this time, I'd like you to kindly direct your attention to the screens as we learn more about the Best Practices Awards.
The Best Practices Awards was established in 2004 to bring an emphasis on what is good practices in organizations. It was also established to ensure that there was a dialogue between the companies and their stakeholders. We also wanted to ensure that we had a dialogue with companies that are listed on the exchange. There are 6 categories of awards. These are Best Practices Awards in corporate disclosure and investor relations, Best Practices in website, annual report, Best Performing Company, and also the coveted award, which is the Governor General's Award. We also have the Best Practices Award in relation to member dealers. It has been an exciting period for the last 15 years. Because what has happened is that companies are excited in terms of vying with each other for these awards, getting the coveted awards that happen each year. And what we have found is that because of these awards, companies have now continued to do of their best, benchmarking to international standards. And the level of activity and communication has grown over the years. We also have people who are committed to judging these awards. These are independent persons who have given up their time. So we have persons drawn from the universities, we have persons drawn from corporate Jamaica, and also those whose skill sets are best used in the areas in the different categories. The overall objective of the award is to ensure that our companies move from one stage of their operation to another. Best practices will percolate throughout the entire company, ensuring that companies grow and to allow for sustainability. And sustainability is important to growth and development.
We take our first break from our coverage of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards. This is Business Access TV. Keep watching.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
Again, I'm going to ask you to kindly turn your attention to the screens as we hear from Professor Neville Ying, Chairman of the Best Practices Committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2018 was a fantastic year for the Jamaica Stock Exchange and, by extension, all listed companies and brokerage houses. At the end of 2018 and on the cusp of 2019, when the Jamaica Stock Exchange celebrates its 50th anniversary, the stock exchange was cited by Bloomberg as the #1 best performing stock exchange in the world. We're all excited and pleased about this result and this ranking because it shows that best practices are paying handsome dividends. Our companies have embraced best practices and as a result are doing well. And when our companies do well, the stock exchange does well. We have seen what profits have done for investor confidence. We now need to give equal focus to the people dimension of sustainable development. We at the Jamaica Stock Exchange have committed to do something about this. We were therefore very pleased in January 2019 when the Prime Minister, the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, launched a bold initiative of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, which is the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. The Jamaica Stock Exchange is putting to use through this initiative the value proposition that sustainable growth of the social sector is good for business. The projects the Jamaica Stock Exchange has selected to start this new venture are as follows. The Deaf Can Coffee Project. This project focuses on training and employment for the deaf persons. Choose Life International Project, which is seeking to reduce the sharp rise in the incidence of suicides in our society. Jamming Music Studio Project, which focuses on music and the profession of music to create an alternative pathway to crime and violence. Spring Praise Jamaica Project, which seeks to reverse the antisocial behavior of young people and encourage children to start saving early. Alpha School of Music project, which focuses on redirecting young men through music and spiritual and remedial education. The game plan is to provide these projects with financial and technical assistance to enable them to grow into financially self-sufficient social business enterprises. We invite you to partner with the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, that together Jamaica can establish a new international benchmark, which is the balancing of social and economic development. Let me return to the Best Practices Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen marked improvement in all the areas that we have assessed. And we would like to take the opportunity to thank all the companies for the hard work that they have done, and in so doing, embracing international best practices. I want to pause at this point to offer heartiest congratulations to Mrs. Marlene Street Forest for the important leadership that she has been given to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The crowning moment for me was when she appeared on Bloomberg TV to speak about the Jamaica Stock Exchange. She represented our country very well, and we are proud of her, and she should take a bow for this. Finally, and very important, I would like to thank members of the Best Practices Awards Committee for their professional, technical, and dedicated services. We are grateful and give profound thanks to the team at the Jamaica Stock Exchange, who remains behind the scene, but whose contributions are invaluable and indispensable in allowing our work to flow smoothly. Please enjoy our celebration of excellent performance this evening.
Now, these are gifts for the committee members. We just like to say thank you so very much for your dedicated service. So let us hear it from Miss Greta Bogues, Mrs. Lisa Bell, Dr. Nsombe Jaja, Mrs. Alicia Hussey, Mrs. Marlene Street Forest, Dr. Janice Simmons Fisher as well. The next person is Miss Roxanne Miller. Let us hear it from Mrs. Antoinette McCain, Miss Andrea Kelly, Miss Gabrielle Grant. These were the ladies on the committee, and we thank the chairman of the Stock Exchange, Mr. Ian McNaughton, for being our presenter. We now welcome Mrs. Marlene Street Forest, Managing Director of the JSE, to be the presenter or to present the tokens to the gentlemen who served on the committee. Now let us hear it for the man with the very deep voice, Professor Neville Ying. And following Professor Neville Ying is Mr. Errol Anderson. And he'll be followed by Mr. Christopher Povell. Let us say hello to Mr. Ricardo Allen. Let us hear it from Mr. Alvaro Casterly. Thank you for your service, sir. Mr. David Hall, Mr. Nigel Koch, Dr. Andre Horton. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Michael Johnson. Last but not least, Dr. William Lawrence.
If you're just joining us, you would have missed the presentation of awards to committee members, but no need to worry, as you are just in time for the presentation of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards.
This is Solomon Sharp, CEO, Main Event Entertainment Group. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
You guys are troublemakers on this side. How are we? We're fabulous? Have we had, excuse me? I just threw this thing on. So here's the thing. I take extreme pride in finding an outfit that that aligns with the brand colors of the particular event. So the first dress had the blue and the black, because blue is the Jamaica Stock Exchange color and the black is the wording, Jamaica Stock Exchange. But then I said, you know what? I've never done this before. In fact, I only change my outfits if it's a TV show and it's like a grand finale. So this is actually the very first time I'm doing a wardrobe change, and I'm calling it the Jamaica Stock Exchange. To my co-host, I hope you're ready. So we are getting into the announcement of awards, and it is an honor to welcome my co-host for this evening. Please put your hands together for Mr. Ricardo Allen, CEO of One and One and member of the Best Practices Committee. How you doing?
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you.
Dr. Terry Carell Reed.
It's a pleasure. You're looking sharp.
Thank you so much.
Good. All right. So we are getting ready. Best Practices Awards 2018 Member Dealers Award. We will begin by recognizing the member dealers. The member dealers are given awards in several categories. The first category is in revenue generation and market activity. In this category, the JSE will recognize member dealers that, one, during the year, traded the most value on the exchange, and two, participated in JSE's programs. I would like to invite Senator Dr. Andre Horton, Senior Lecturer at UA, to present the first award. And the winner in this category is NCB Capital Markets Limited. Congratulations to NCB Capital Markets Limited.
And our next award goes to Investor Relations Stock Brokerage. This award recognizes the member dealer that consistently exceeds customer expectation by providing excellent customer service. I'd like to invite Mrs. Street Forest just to join us on stage to present this award. Give her a round of applause for me, guys. We'll first announce the second runner-up, JMB Securities Limited. Congratulations, JMB. Our first runner-up for this year's Investor Relations Stock Brokerage Award goes to Sagicor Investment Jamaica Limited. To our winner of the Investor Relations Stock Brokerage Award, I'll now invite, am I getting my drum roll? Jane Fund Managers, congratulations.
The next presentation is the JSE Member Dealers Award for Best Website. This award is given to encourage member dealers to raise the quality and efficiency of the dissemination of information to the investing public via the website. To present these awards, I call on former custos of St. Andrew, Mrs. Marigold Harding. Please make her welcome. Second runner-up. Actually, it's a tie. The second runners-up are Sagicor Investment Limited and JMB Securities Limited. We invite Sagicor Investments Limited to collect the award. I see the beautiful Alicia. Congratulations. This is in the category of Best Website. And this is JMB Securities Limited. The beautiful Carrie-Ann Stimson. Oh, that's a fabulous dress. In the category of Best Website is Victoria Mutual Wealth Management Limited. And the winner for the JSE Member Dealers Award for Best Website is Clarita Investments Limited for the second year running. Congratulations for the second year running. Congratulations to the runners-up as well as the winner. Good job. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Harding.
Now on to our next award. Our next category will be awarded for expansion of investors and listed companies base. This award recognizes member dealer that has increased the number of clients in the JCSD and listed the most companies in 2018. To present these awards, I invite Mr. Nigel Coke to join me on stage, chairman of the Member Dealers Committee. Just give him a round of applause while he comes up. So for this category, we have a second runner-up. The second runner-up for the expansion of investors and listed companies base is NCB Cap Market. Congrats, Steve and team. Now on to our winners. And for this category, we have joint winners, right? They did so well, we could not separate them. The winners for the expansion of investors and listed company base are JMMB and Sagicor Investment Limited.
Congratulations. The Jamaica Stock Exchange's member dealers' overall winner is the Chairman's Award. To present this award, we call on the chairman of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Mr. Ian McNaughton, to present the Chairman's Award for the top member dealer. Please make him welcome. The Chairman's Award for the top member dealer goes to he did it twice because we do have joint winners. Sagicor Investments Jamaica Limited, NCB Capital Market.
Now, we're about to shift gears a bit. We're going to move on to our Best Practices Award for 2018. Now, this award is given to encourage publicly listed companies to produce clearer, more reader-friendly annual reports that provide greater insight into the company's financial affairs, governance practices, and business activities. To present the award for Best Annual Report, I now invite Mr. Casserly to join us on stage. Now, we had some really good annual reports this year. If I can say so myself, being a part of the committee, and I must tell you that these companies that are selected here would have been winners, yes, but it doesn't say the others weren't great. All of them, we got some really good ones. So, you know, we've lifted the standards, and I want to say congratulations just about to everyone, all right? Very good job. Now, our second runner-up for this category goes to Lasco Manufacturing Limited. Now, our first runner-up for this category goes to Lasco Distributors Limited. So we've had Lasco Manufacturing, Lasco Distributors. Any guess who the winners are? Drum roll for me. Caribbean Producers Jamaica Limited. Now that we've gotten the Junior Market Awards for Best Annual Reports out of the way, let's move on to the main market. Now for this market, we had a joint second runner-up. We have two persons, actually, two companies being represented here. Drum roll. Jamaica Producers Limited and NCB Financial Group. Congratulations. For our winners, for the best annual report among companies listed on the main market, I now present, drum roll, Kennedy Limited. Congratulations, Don and team, on this award.
Congratulations to the awardees so far at the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards ceremony. But stay tuned, more winners to be announced when we return.
This is Solomon Sharp, CEO Main Event Entertainment Group. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
The next category is the best performing company. This award seeks to identify and recognize outstanding performance by listed companies in enhancing shareholder value in the areas of capital efficiency, profitability, and direct return on shareholdings. To present these awards, I call on Dr. Ensombe Jaja, member of the Best Performing Company Committee, to present these awards. Please make her welcome. The first category of awards will be made to the junior market companies, followed by the main market companies. So we start with the junior market. The first runner-up is the Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited. And the winner is Cargo Handlers Limited. So we now enter the main market awards. First runner-up is Salado Foods Jamaica Limited. Congratulations to Salado Foods. This is for the main market awards in the category Best Performing Company, looking at areas of capital efficiency, profitability, and direct return on shareholdings. And now it's time to find out who our winner is in the main market. The winner is Carreras Limited.
Now on to our next award. Next up is the Corporate Disclosure and Investor Relations Award. Now this award serves to recognize companies that maintain good investor relations with the wider investing public and make timely and accurate reports and announcements available to the JC. For this award, we have our second runner-up. The second runner-up for Corporate Disclosure and Investor Relations goes to Paramount Trading Jamaica Limited. The first runner-up for this award goes to Lasco Financial Services Limited. For the Corporate Disclosure and Investor Relations Award goes to Onibun, second year winning. For the main market, we have our second runner-ups going to Grace Kennedy Limited.
Steve, how are you doing?
Terry, I think your dress making me nervous.
Don't blame me. Don't listen. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. Congratulations, Grace Kennedy Limited. Ryan, I see you. Ryan Boo, I see you. Back to Steve.
The first runner-up for Corporate Disclosure and Investor Relations goes to NCB Financial Group. In the Corporate Disclosure and Investor Relations Awards, JMB Group.
Next presentation, Best Practices Website. This award seeks to encourage listed companies to raise the quality and efficiency of the dissemination of information to the investing public via their website. To present these awards, I call on Professor Neville Ying, Chairman, Best Practices Committee, to present these awards. Second runner-up is Lasco Financial Services Limited. First runner-up, Junior Market, is Caribbean Producers Jamaica Limited, CPJ. Who will be the winner in Junior Market? And the winner is Lasco Manufacturing Limited. Second runner-up is NCB Financial Group Limited. The first runner-up is Barita Investments Limited. Congratulations. And the winner in the main market subcategory is Mayberry Investments Limited. Congratulations, Mayberry.
Our next award will be for PSOJ JC Corporate Governance. This award seeks to recognize companies that demonstrate and practice outstanding corporate governance. To present these awards, I call on Ms. Greta Bogues, the chairperson of the PSOJ JC Corporate Governance Committee, to present. And the winner for the PSOJ JC Corporate Governance Award goes to Onibon. Now, on to our main market. For the second runner-up, first time being awarded tonight. I wonder who it is. Scotia Group Jamaica Limited. To our first runner-up for Corporate Governance Award, we now invite, drum roll, the Grace Kennedy Limited. Congrats, Grace. And for the winner of the PSOJ JC Corporate Governance Award, we invite the NCB Financial Group.
And now for the moment you have all been waiting for. The Governor General Award for Excellence will be presented by Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest. In the Junior Market category, JSC's Junior Market Best Practices Award overall winner is Lasco Manufacturing Jamaica Limited. JSE's Junior Market Best Practices Award, the Governor General Award for Excellence, the main market. It is a tie between Grace Kennedy Limited and NCB Financial Group Limited. Congratulations to all the nominees, certainly all the awardees, all the winners. Without all of you, the Jamaica Stock Exchange would not be performing so well. So thank you for implementing best practices. Thank you so very much.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
Grace Kennedy were major winners here tonight. Tell us what these awards are for.
Thank you very much. We won the award for the best annual report, which we are so happy with because we have been working so hard on our annual report to improve it to really world-class standard. So this is actually the first time that we have won the best annual report. And this is the big award here. This is the Governor General's Award, which is for the best company on the stock exchange, which we won jointly with the NCB. The last time we won this award was 2004. So that's 15 years ago. So tonight is a very special occasion, and I'm sure all the Grace Kennedy staff tomorrow are going to be so happy that we have worked so hard and we have been recognized by the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
That's really amazing. So what did Grace Kennedy do this time to make sure that they copped the top award tonight?
Well, we've just been focusing on great corporate governance, been focused on doing well as a company in terms of improving our profitability and revenue. You may have heard that we have set ourselves a target to have revenues of 100 billion by 2022, the first Jamaican company, and I can say to you, we are on track, if not ahead of track. We keep innovating. We want to be a global consumer group. We are in Canada, USA, Europe, UK. So we're just being very focused to our vision and trying to realize that vision by staying and working hard.
Okay, congratulations and keep up the fabulous work.
Thanks a lot, much appreciated.
So I'm here with the Mayberry investment team, and boy, they are smiles all around. Congratulations. Tell us how you feel and what award did you get tonight?
Oh, thank you very much. We're feeling elated. We won for the main market best website for 2018.
Okay, so what did you do to get the best website?
Visit our website, www.mayberryinvestment.com.
All right. Any new developments for 2020?
Yeah, we are really excited in rolling out our new technologies on our new platform that we are currently working assiduously to get first to market with. Okay. So look out for it.
All right, congratulations. Thank you. Catching up with another awardee from tonight's event, and this is of course Barita Investments. Tell us what awards you won tonight.
Well, tonight I'm holding here our award for the best member dealer website. We're very proud of this. And what's more amazing is that we've just upgraded our website to be even better. So we'll be back next year.
Here with Honeybun, and they are double awardees tonight. Congratulations. Tell us what the two awards are for.
This is for corporate investor relationship, and this one is for corporate governance.
And what did Honeybun do to come out as the winners in these categories tonight?
We're repeat winners, We won the same awards last year.
So what have you been doing then to keep the success going?
We follow up, just keep on trying to do your best all the time and keep on following up with what we have done. And yeah, they keep coming.
So I'm here with Mr. Carreras, one of the big winners here tonight. Congratulations. Tell us what your award for.
Thank you very much. We won the best performing company in the main market. Yeah.
And what did you do to stand out to be the top winners in that category?
To be honest, Carreras is accustomed to winning this particular award. Last year we were the second runner-up, and the team said, listen, we need to go and reclaim our award. So what we did, we ensured that we looked at the right things, and we were able to deliver more to the shareholders and deliver some EPS growth, and we were rewarded handsomely for it. So we're back in the winning category, and we really feel good about that.
NCB, one of the big winners here tonight. I see you don't have your award because your team left with it, but tell us about some of the awards that you copped tonight.
Okay, so for NCB Capital Markets, we won an award for market generation, and we were joint overall winners in terms of member broker-dealer. And on the listed company side, we NCB Financial Group won quite a few awards, but they also won the Chairman's Award for Excellence. That's the overall main market award.
And so how do you feel about copying these awards?
Great. We did well last year, and we did well again this year. So it's a very proud feeling.
It has been quite an eventful evening. Congratulations to all the nominees and special congratulations to the winners. This has been Business Access TV's coverage of the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practices Awards. I am Tamara McHale signing out for Business Access TV, serious about business.
My name is Levon Flynn, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Historically, in Western societies, the focus of genealogy was on the kinship and descent of rulers and nobles, often arguing or demonstrating the legitimacy of claims to wealth and power. Some family trees have been maintained for considerable periods, One such is the family tree of Confucius, which has been maintained for over 2,500 years and is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest extant family tree. In modern times, genealogy became more widespread, with commoners as well as nobility researching and maintaining their family trees. So we decided to look closer at this field on this episode of Career Moves.
My name is Latoya Williams, and I'm a genealogist. Genealogy is the study of lineage, pedigrees, so to speak. We research family histories all the way back as far as their records, and we use original sourced records or derivative records.
Can you trace your family tree? Who are your ancestors? Were they famous? Where did they come from? Well, if you want to know more about your family history, then a genealogist can help.
A genealogist is someone who undertakes professional level research for family history. And so that means they research record groups, and there are several types: vital records, immigration records, census records, electoral records, town histories, city directories, and the list goes on. There are several more, but they try to find evidence from this, and they link families throughout the generations.
It's said anyone can become a genealogist, so Latoya tells us just how.
Generally, anyone can become a genealogist. It doesn't matter if they're young or old. However, a lot of genealogists are older. They've normally amassed many years' experience, partially because they are researching their own family history. But you have a lot of genealogists who are excited by the profession. The preponderance of TV shows and all of these other things have made people more aware of the profession, and they want to enter into it too. So we have a good balance.
I actually want to introduce you to your grandfather, Walter Owen.
So I've never seen him or know anything about him. It's just amazing.
Many genealogists work from home, except if they belong to larger, more established firms, and that's not necessarily the case in Jamaica. Most individuals here are private researchers, but a genealogist is not limited to just their home, because they're required to go out into the field and do research. They visit records office like the RGD. They might visit the family history centers like the LDS Family History Center, the National Library, National Land Agency. They visit subjects out in the field, people who they're searching for. So they might have a pretty much like a hill and gully ride experience when they go out there. I think people choose to become genealogists if they're bitten by the bug, so to speak. You have to have a sense of mystery. You want to solve puzzles, to be a sleuth, so to speak, because genealogy is all about research work, investigative work, and history too.
Latoya speaks to how the profession grew on her.
I grew up Anglican, and as you know, a feature of the Anglican churches is the graveyards that are right around the property. So we'd play among the graves when we were younger, and I would always look at them and look for the oldest that I could see. Somebody born in 1790 or 1820, and I thought, wow, wonder what it was like for them growing up then. And so from a very young age, even before I knew myself, I had that mystery, that wonder, that awe about people who died and their lives. I wanted to explore this a little bit more. I think when I was about 10 to 13, I had an impression that, and I know it's funny, but I I thought I was an African princess, somebody who had royal lineage, and I said, you know what, I'd love to be able to find that out. And I decided that if I had an opportunity, I would pursue it. I would find out all the way back to my lineage in Africa if I could, and other places. When I was older, my mother brought me to a family funeral. Her uncle Nathaniel had died, and this was giving me a bit clarity, and it was the first time we were actually going there. And I just said, you know what, I don't think anybody else is going to do this. I need to be the family historian. And from then on, I decided to actively begin the research process. And it was very discouraging at first because I could find no records. And people weren't necessarily open to speaking about the family so much. I think it's because of, you know, how they grew up. In Jamaica, we do have this thing where don't ask questions, don't really talk about people's names or so. So for me, that was difficult. It wasn't until some years later that I was able to get somewhere when it came onto the records. Last year, Brigham Young University unrolled a core of programs here in Jamaica and in the rest of the Caribbean, and genealogy research was a part of it. I was doing genealogy research just as best as we could with the resources that were there, but I decided that it was time to enroll in the course and do exactly what I wanted to do. So I started about 14 years ago, from the time of that funeral until now, applying the knowledge. I applied it to my own family tree at first, you know, looking at the different sections, and I've been able to find some wonderful things since then, things that have inspired me. And I see a change in my family now too, where they really want to help in this process. Whatever information you require, they try to assist you as opposed to before.
She also shares with us what goes on in the day-to-day affairs of a genealogist.
So we might have consultations with clients. From our consultation, we will determine what exactly the client wants to pursue. So we come up with what you call the research questions, and we decide what strategy is best to employ to getting those results, what record sets to look up, where to go to get the information, who to contact, and whether or not, from the original scoping, if we're going to go out into the field and do interviews for that family or videos or so. Genealogists and family historians are the keepers of generations. We provide answers to some of mankind's most pressing questions. That's of, who am I? Where did my people come from?
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Yes, I would. To get a better understanding of who I am as a person.
Yes, I would, because actually it helps us to get closer to our families, and actually when you go to like the family center, it helps us to know the history of our families.
You know, thinking about families, you get to learn all their cultures and all the food that they eat and how they dress. You know, someday I want to have a family and I'll be able to share with my family all these details of my past family life.
Of course, family history is wonderful. You get to learn more about family, because family is so important. Without family, who are we?
Most definitely. I knew I had a sister who passed before I was born. But the first time I saw her name in a document just excited me, and I made a connection with her right then and there.
It really makes a lot of sense when you understand, you know, where you came from, when you understand, you know, a little bit more about your ancestors. Sometimes you may find that, you know, you have things in common with them. You know, that's why I love learning about them, because it just makes sense.
For those on the path of or thinking of becoming a certified genealogist, Latoya gives us the prerequisites.
Well, every university program, they have their rudimentary subjects. You do need a good grasp of English because you write a lot of reports. You need to be able to reason well, and so the math calculus courses would be very beneficial to you. It would exercise that reasoning ability. But history, I would think a prerequisite. Though in the course they would teach you about whatever type of history you're looking at. So if you're doing German records, you're going to go into German history. Part of the course is you finding information along the way to assist you to complete the case studies. Other people can get involved in genealogy too. For example, genetic scientists, there is the whole DNA aspect where from a biological standpoint, they can go into that too.
But just what goes into training?
You have different types of genealogists. Professional genealogists, which is more of where I'm going, they do study. So there is training, specialized training, which can be done through, for example, Family Search has a training program. There are also other programs like Brigham Young University. I'm doing Brigham Young University in particular, and their family history research degree. And after that, I intend to get the international certification, the board certification for genealogists and the International Commission of Accredited Genealogists certifications. Those require a series of exams and case studies to be submitted, pay those fees, and we wait on the report from the board to see if you will be accredited in that particular area. And so it's not just a broad certification. Is it British, the British Isles? Is it American genealogy? Is it Swedish? Is it German? You know? And currently there are no accredited internationally certified genealogists in the Caribbean, and so I'm on track to becoming the first to do that. What goes on in training? It is a lot of reading. It is a lot of work. It is a professional degree in research, and so the standards are very high and they must be upheld. You're looking for evidence and ways to support that evidence, and it requires going on a lot of different websites, databases to be linked to those in particular. And we're talking during the course of 1 week of study, you might have to visit 20 different sites, pages to just go through the topic, because how do you do census records and in particular, and they might not be focused on the Caribbean, they might be focused on the US, and all the different states have, you know, different requirements. So in this training, it's for a worldwide program. It's not just limited to Jamaica. In fact, it's not specific to it. You will have to further do research and apply it here. I'm currently enrolled in the Brigham Young University, Idaho Family History Research program. I'm doing an applied associate of science, and it's 60 credits. It takes between 2 to 3 years to complete. I'm currently doing it online, but part of the course requires you to do residency. And so for the first year, I had to go to the center once every week and gather with other people to complete the foundation courses. And then for the second year, that's when you meet your international classroom and your course instructor, and you go through a series of courses. After I complete my studies, I will have a applied associates in family history research, and then I will further apply for the board certification for genealogists.
Latoya says there aren't many universities offering programs for the genealogical studies.
For the most part, it's Boston University that has a program, a certificate program, and Brigham Young University, they're pretty much the leaders in providing this. This is why, for the most part, genealogists seek board certification or other commission training.
Apart from digging up the past, what other purpose do they serve?
I think historians are the keepers of records. I think genealogists and family historians are the keepers of generations. We provide a link between families from the earliest of times to now. We provide answers to some of mankind's most pressing questions, that's of who am I, where did my people come from, and what are their stories? And especially for people of Caribbean descent, we are detached in a sense from our motherlands, and it's not just for those of African ancestry, but Chinese and Indian. We came here through difficult migrations or forced migrations, and we want a sense of ancestral pride. Genealogists and family historians can provide that for this displaced population.
Even with the service they provide, their demand in Jamaica is limited.
I'm a business researcher by profession, and I delved into genealogy research because there is the opportunity. But by no means do I not understand that you have to create your own market. It is not exactly very easy for genealogists in Jamaica or the Caribbean to find a lot of work because our population, they're not so aware of the need for genealogy research, not as yet. What happens is internationally, genealogy, family history work is exploding. People are so excited. There are a preponderance of shows. Where did I come from? Who am I? You know, roots. And I do see that that will blossom, the demand for it, but it's not exactly no. So you might want to have additional options or sources of income while you pursue this. It's a passion. And if you enter into this field, genealogy research, you have to be prepared to develop the market and to wait until it's ready.
However, she highlights that job security is a sure thing.
There is some means of job security in this field, mainly because you would start your own genealogical practice. And in that, as long as you maintain a steady flow of clients, you will be fine. People believe that once you're asking family history research questions, it's about money. Oh, there's a will, I can get money. I mean, in some cases, especially in the US where they have laws to encourage that sort of thing, where they find the heirs, then that can be the case.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The skills are many, and each genealogist may have their own, but Latoya shares a few she sees as important.
A genealogist needs to be sharp, literally have above average reasoning, because you are solving decades old, hundreds of years old mysteries, and you're not doing it with perfect information at all. A genealogist would have to have an appreciation of history and culture, societal rules of the time, paleography, which is handwriting, so it's being able to interpret ancient or old handwritings, even scripts, in a sense that you can understand what they really mean, even in a time like even now.
Due to the limited information about the field, Latoya says it's underutilized.
I definitely don't believe this field is fully utilized in Jamaica. I don't think there's much awareness of genealogy research, you know, and as a consequence, a lot of our families are not as connected as they could be. There are few genealogists here in Jamaica. There is a bit of a market, mainly because more and more people are becoming aware of and are demanding to have this service performed, but it's not the biggest market at this point in time. Hopefully we'll see it grow with awareness programs and with And just because the demand worldwide is skyrocketing, that our people here will catch on too.
She demystifies some of the myths.
People have some misconceptions about genealogy research. One, some people believe anybody can do it. And I think while anybody with some amount of skill can look up a record in a database, a basic record, a genealogist does way more than that. A genealogist stakes their reputation, so to speak, on the accuracy of the records that they can find. It is a professional designation with professional accreditation and degrees, and it's something that should be sought after. And only people with an aptitude to bury themselves in hours and hours of research work daily, should really strive to do this. Additionally, people believe that once you're asking family history research questions, it's about money. Oh, there's a will, I can get money. I mean, in some cases, especially in the US, to encourage that sort of thing where they find the heirs, then that can be the case. But for the most part, the treasure in family history research is in the information, it's in the ability to bring the families closer together. It's in giving that sense of pride to someone who has none.
We also hear of some of the opportunities within this field.
One great opportunity that you have when you study genealogy research is to be able to work anywhere in the world. As long as you have that international accreditation or certification, even if the work is not present here in Jamaica, it doesn't stop you from doing German research or American research or some other country. There are opportunities too for programmers. Genealogy is backed, especially now, by technology to an unprecedented degree. So most jobs for genealogy firms, they require software engineering backgrounds because they power these powerful databases and family trees. DNA in particular, it's becoming so popular. Everyone wants to do a DNA test to find out, where exactly that far-flung relative is. And so if you're a genetic scientist, you can find your way into genealogy that way.
Nearly all genealogists are self-employed. Most work on a part-time basis for private clients, and so the compensation, as Latoya tells us, varies.
Compensation for genealogists, it's an absolute wide range. In particular, most of our clients would be people from in the diaspora outside of Jamaica, and in America in particular, and I can speak to their rates because those are published, it's between $20 to $100 US an hour to hire a genealogist. And there is a great range because it depends on how many years of experience a genealogist will have. Some of them will be PhD candidates, professors, people who lecture on the subject, and it can be all the way down to record searchers. The job outlook for genealogists, it's looking up. Here in Jamaica, it's probably a little slower than other professions. But if you do study this, you should have an eye to not just work here, but to work even remotely abroad.
If you're still wondering about your roots and have a desired interest, you may gain something from Latoya's advice.
If you have a passion for history and family history, then this might be the profession for you. Utilize your skills, in other areas. You might have studied something else in university and you want to find a creative way to utilize those skills, be it in software development, history or library science. There are areas in genealogy that you can look at, and don't just do it casually. Start there, but pursue some certification so that you might be able to keep up the standard within the profession.
Jade Lee, the owner of the farm at Little Orchard. Welcome.
We explore the good life on the farm at Little Orchard this week. Stay with us.
I traded in my high heels for my water boots about 3 years ago and took over my father's property and decided to make it a sanctuary. A productive, money-making venture that would not only support my family but the community here in Linstead. We grow and harvest many crops, we export crops, we sell crops to the local market, we supply quite a few local restaurants, supermarkets, and government agencies. We're moving towards ecotourism. We currently do tours in the tourism industry as well as with schools, high schools, prep schools, primary schools, and that's been going excellent. I grew up on this property, but my parents were not farmers. So it was a citrus orchard, and it was our home. My dad had already passed 7 years when I took the property, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go with it because I had never been a farmer before, and I never had an interest in farming, to be honest. I came back to visit the property. There was no one living here. It was abandoned for many years. I don't know, it's a really strange thing to explain, but in the next coming years, I developed a passion for the land and a passion for farming. Right now, we have almost 30 acres completely developed. Although I would like to say I have livestock for slaughtering. Every time my animals has babies, they become so endeared to me. My rabbits, goats, and we have chickens. I have not started to slaughter any of our animals because I get so close to them, but it has to happen eventually. So I'm getting there mentally and emotionally to grow our herds. That's one part. But what has been happening over the past 3 years is our crops and the growth of our crops and our fields. So we have a very large portion of our flatlands are planted out in callaloo, and we supply callaloo to the local factories. We also export callaloo to the US and to Canada. We supply lots of local entities, like with pumpkins, sweet potatoes, peppers. There are particular agencies that have supported us over the years. You know, Jackie Tyson has been like amazing, and she's always supported us. We do bananas. Right now, there has been a problem in this farming basin with the bananas and plantains. As we knew strains from, we knew as children, everybody knows about Robusta banana and about Gros Michel banana. These bananas are being affected by a very serious disease called black sigatoka. And so most farmers are now replanting with Fia bananas that are resistant to that disease. And so we have a lot of Fia trees that we have just planted. We have ginger, we have pineapple, MD2 pineapple, which is a very hardy pineapple. We have those as well. We have peppers, Moruga red, West Indian red, and Scotch bonnet peppers. We have corn, and then we have our herbs and spices. Like we have a very, very large mint area, moringa trees that that was the first thing I planted when I took Little Orchard Farm over. Welcome to Little Orchard Farm in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica. On the farm at Little Orchard, there are many crops that we grow organically. Growing a crop organically means that you do not use any toxic pesticides, you do not use any toxic herbicides to clear the land, you do not use any toxic fertilizers, you use everything that is natural. So if you're going to fertilize, you would fertilize with compost or you would fertilize with animal droppings. If you're going to spray a pesticide, that is a pesticide that we would make our own pesticides. from like boiled peppers, garlic, scallion, and make that very strong, and that's what you would spray with. There are also other organic pesticides that you can purchase from the farm store, but these are not very common, especially in the farming practice in Jamaica, because they are more expensive. The whole process of growing organic produce is not easy. It's a difficult process. It's a more time-consuming process. So the produce at the end of the day is more expensive. It's also not as pretty. They eat with their eyes. And so if you see a head of cabbage and it has little bites and stuff on it, and you see this beautiful head of cabbage over here and has no bites and it's just perfect, more than likely the head of cabbage that is perfect is not organic. More than likely. And I'm not saying that it can't be organic and be beautiful. If it's grown in a greenhouse and it's completely protected from the elements and from all of those pests and stuff, and you have barriers in your greenhouse and entrance ways that are protected, then that can happen. That's usually not the case though. So most people in Jamaica grow on the outdoors because we have the weather for it 24/7. And so the organic stuff becomes more expensive at the end of the day to the consumer. And so we have a very small niche market that only buys organic stuff. And so we do grow these things specifically for that market. And we get into organic things like organic eggs, which is grain-fed chicken and vegetable-fed chickens. We get into the organic stuff as free-range chickens. These chickens are not fed feed with hormones in it that you buy in the bag feed. They're only fed corn and vegetables, but absolutely no hormones at all, which actually comes in the feed that's already processed. So we do have organic chickens, we have organic eggs, and we have organic crops. When it comes on to the health benefits of organic crops and organic chickens, organic eggs, the health benefits are tremendous. They're extremely different. Remember now, the actual hormone that is put into the feed that a chicken eats to produce the eggs on a commercial basis, and the actual feed that the chickens eat to get fatter and more plump in a 6-week period, which is when they harvest and reap the chickens on a commercial basis, those hormones are estrogen based. So estrogen is a female hormone, which means that when you eat these things, you are getting estrogen that your body does not and should not have. So every time a man eats these chickens, he is putting in his body a female hormone. Now, I am not knocking the chicken industry. People have to eat. People are looking always for less expensive alternatives to feed their families, but there are the people that want to be more responsible, and it is more costly to produce a the comparison between a free-range chicken and a commercially grown chicken that is given the hormones is more than double the price per pound. It's more than double the price per pound. So it's significantly different, you know, but the health benefits, you can, it's not rocket science. I mean, you know, Google is there, and, you know, I'm not saying something that the information is not out there, you know, because I do have colleagues, and I too do commercial eggs, you know, because there are people that want a choice, and that's what they want to buy, and we do give them the choice. But the people that want to do the organic stuff, we give them the choice as well.
We take our first break here on The Good Life. More when we return.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
The Good Life is back. Let's have a look at our Need to Know segment for this week.
Look here, Andre, you have to carry this back to here and carry it back to the plow part. When you get suckers, let's bring down another couple of rows here. So this callaloo field, as the suckers are planted, they have to be watered immediately. And this particular plot here is about 1 acre. As you know, callaloo is very high in iron. And it is now one of the main ingredients for any green juice. Any green juice, you know that callaloo is a must-have in your green juice. As well as, of course, we know we cook callaloo as a vegetable, as a side dish or a breakfast dish in Jamaica. So all this is being planted out today, and they're being watered as they're planted. First couple of weeks, they're in shock. And for the first couple of weeks, they'll look like this. These have been planted now about 1 week, and so they're in shock. They're also suffering from a little bit of lack of water because we're having a little bit of not so much rain recently. But not to worry, they're just in shock because they're babies, they were just planted. Because right after that, we're going to take you to the established field and show you what it's going to look like in 3 to 4 weeks. So this is what the field looks like when it is established. And these callaloos are now ready for reaping. So we do not spray our callaloo with anything toxic. So if you see a bite or two, it's a good thing, okay? Good thing. This tree is actually reaped and it will grow back, and in 2 weeks, it'll be big again and you'll get fresh things. So we spoke about seeds and planting seeds. Yes, planting seeds are important. Would you select a tree like this for seeds? Absolutely not. This tree is little and bilgy. No. When you select a seed for replanting, it must be from the most beautiful tree or the most beautiful fruit that you have in your orchard. And you take that, that's your mother. And remember, just like how you pamper a pregnant mother and you give her vitamins and you feed her all of the nutritious stuff, that's what you do with your mother tree. So now we're going over to see the bananas. These bananas are Robusta bananas. That's the breed of bananas. And as you can see, you see these leaves that gets dried. They start out by being yellow, like this one right here. This particular fungus that affects these bananas is called black cicotoca. And the black cicotoca is actually rampant throughout Jamaica and some parts of this Caribbean farming basin. And the black cicotoca actually can be controlled with chemicals, However, we do not spray our bananas. These bananas will eventually die. What happens with the black Sikatoka is that it kills the leaves, and when the leaves die, the fruit does not have enough leaves to carry the nutrients to the actual banana, and then the bananas abort before the time that they should be fit. How do you know a good sucker from a bad sucker? A good banana sucker shapes like a spear. It's wider at the bottom and narrow at the top. So that's a good, healthy sucker right here. This tree is going to shoot. You can see it shooting. The fruit will shoot, and as soon as that bears and you reap that fruit, you cut this tree down. And this tree will come down, and then this one will shoot a fruit. And it continues and continues. But at no time at all should you have more than 3 generations of bananas in one area, one hole. That's a healthy tree right there so far. But we see the black Sikatoka coming. But hopefully the tree will remain with at least 8 leaves to feed the fruit until maturity to reap. Luckily, however, they came up with a new strain of bananas called the Thea banana that is actually resistant to black Sikatoka. So we are now in the process of replanting our bananas and putting in the Thea bananas, and we'll show you some of these fields. No black Sikatoka. You see no black Sikatoka leaves. Beautiful Thea bananas. Andre, why not planting? Everybody need to plant them rows. These we have sprayed with the organic stuff. So these are completely organic cabbages. This is a moringa tree. This tree is about 3 years old. Usually when they're planting moringa for harvesting, they harvest the leaves and grind them to put in a capsule for medicinal purposes. They also use the seeds as a health product in shakes, in just pop one in your mouth, you know. You don't want to eat too many moringa seeds though, because it carries your blood pressure down sometimes, I understand.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okra. You know you can eat all of these baby okras when they're young like this. Nice, healthy living. So these are our free-range chickens. They were hatched out about a month ago, and we leave them caged for maybe about a month and a half to 2 months until they're big enough to fend for themselves, or else predators like mongoose and so on will get to them and eat them. So we have them in protective custody. This is our apiary. It's a small apiary that we're growing. We're in honey season now, so we're actually splitting our boxes, which means making 2 boxes out of 1 box. And we're developing our apiary. Hopefully, we aim to get up to 1,000 boxes. So Denby is probably the largest agricultural trade show in the world. It is a huge trade show that goes on for about 3 days in Jamaica. And Denby of 2016, I got the award of champion female farmer for Jamaica. I had only been in farming 2.5 years, so I was very happy to have been selected. And, you know, I know that the other females that were in the category too, they did very well. They had some amazing properties. I've visited some of these properties and I'm very, very impressed.
We take our final break here on The Good Life, but stay with us. More when we return.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
This is Solomon Sharp, CEO Main Event Entertainment Group. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
What farming has done for me, it has taught me a lot of patience. You see, because I'm a very impatient person and I want things to be done now, immediately. I want it to be done today, this minute. Farming doesn't work like that. You can't plant pumpkins today and reap them tomorrow. You have to prepare your lands. You have to know the time of year to plant. If you have a lacking of water supply or irrigation, you have to know when your rains are coming. How soon do you plant before your rains? You have to understand that there are certain soils that certain crops don't do well in. Rotation of crops on a particular piece of land is also very important. You don't want to plant, there are some crops that give back to the earth, and there are some crops that take away from the earth. So you may want to plant sweet potato, and then you want to plant callaloo, and then you want to plant something else, and then you want to go back to your sweet potato because sweet potato gives back to the land. So there are many different farming practices, and believe you me, Google is a wonderful place. It's all there. And if it's not there, I can pick up my phone and call a fellow farmer, and the information is easily at hand. I choose crops based on the market and what's out there as a demand, what I have orders for and contracts for on a regular basis. And I know that contractually I have a market for it. So we will continually grow these crops like pumpkin, sweet potato, and callaloo. There's a all year round market for these, and I already have an established contract for these. Other than that, I have so many friends and colleagues that say, Jade, you're not growing up broccoli. You don't have this, you don't have that. And then I have a couple of friends that just want the organic stuff only, and then I grow for them. And other than that, I grow what I like. And if you know, when you grow what you like, there are tons of other people that likes it as well. I grow sweet corn. I love sweet corn. But if I grow sweet corn, I do have hand to sell sweet corn. I think growing what you eat and eating what you grow, everything, it's impossible. It's impossible to grow everything that you eat. And I don't necessarily eat everything that I grow. But one thing I can tell you, there are certain things that I didn't necessarily like before that I eat now because I grow them. Like, I don't really particularly like pumpkins, but I eat pumpkin now because I grow the pumpkins, and it just feels great to eat it. When it comes on to the economics of growing what you eat and eating what you grow, let's say you have a small plot of land in your yard. The fact of the matter is that you see the same callaloo that grows up that you cut, that same callaloo grows back callaloo the very next week or the week after. All you have to do is water it and give it a little bit of animal manure, whatever, it grows right back. So that same 6 little roots of callaloo is going to give you callaloo for months and months and months and months. The 3 pepper trees that you have in your yard would be possible to give you peppers for almost 2 years. That same pepper tree. You take that same seed from one of the really, because you have to select your pepper, the most beautiful pepper that you got off of that tree, and dry those seeds to plant back. You can plant your thyme, your scallion. When they come, they say, how would I plant some scallion? The same scallion you go to the supermarket and buy, the same time you go to the supermarket and buy, you can plant them. Organic farming, or if you want to do farming the other way. But everyone should have a small garden in their home, a mint garden, some lemongrass. You'd be surprised to know how simple it is to grow. And so the economics of it is that, yes, these are things that you can maintain for years. For years, a banana tree will keep giving you back the suckers, and it will always be shooting banana. You get a bunch of banana, you have to put them, you can put bananas in the fridge, green bananas in the fridge, by the way, so they don't ripe. So the importance of a farmer and agriculture is so important in our lives. And that's how I start every tour. I ask the question, if you don't bathe for 2 months, will you die? You won't die if you don't bathe for 2 months. You'll be very stink, but you won't die. But if you don't eat for 2 months, you will die. There you have it. That was our tour of the farm at Little Orchard in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica. I'm sitting right now on my father's old massive Ferguson tractor. This tractor is probably, wow, a few decades old, well. So we looked at many different crops and the styles of growing crops organically and on the other end commercially, and the health benefits of the organic cropping, which is what we're trying to focus on here at the farm at Little Orchard. It is important to understand that eating healthy is a very important component to start your healthy lifestyle. And of course, knowing where your food comes from and knowing how your food is grown is very, very important. Farming is now so much more extensive than an old man in an overall with a straw hat going out in the fields. It's far more sophisticated. And so we encourage the youngsters to look seriously into farming, because the source of life is food. Farm healthy, eat healthy. Thanks for watching. This has been The Good Life, right here, the farm at Little Orchard.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.